What if the most dangerous man was the one everyone trusted? Night in California was never a time for rest. It was a standing appointment with fear. In quiet neighborhoods where people slept believing locked doors were enough, there was one person who knew the truth. Locks mean nothing when evil knows the way. This is not a fictional story. This is a true story that lasted more than 40 years and ended in a way no one expected. In the mid-1970s, close to 2 a.m., a woman woke up to a strange sound inside her home. She tried to move, but a cold voice whispered behind her, "Don't scream if you want to live." She never saw his face. She never knew his name. But the fear he planted inside her stayed for years. By morning, police cars filled the neighborhood. No broken doors, no witnesses, no clear evidence leading to a suspect. At first, it was thought to be an isolated incident. But weeks later, it happened again, in another city, then another. The following years revealed a terrifying pattern. Similar night attacks in distant neighborhoods, always at the same hours, always leaving almost nothing behind. Newspapers gave him a name that would become legendary: the Golden State Killer. He wasn't just committing crimes, he was playing with minds. He rearranged furniture to confuse investigators. He left misleading signs. Sometimes he even called his victims months later just to remind them the nightmare wasn't over. Police formed special task forces. Huge rewards were announced. Press conferences were held again and again, but nothing worked. Fear became part of daily life. People slept with weapons beside their beds, yet the killer kept escaping. Then suddenly, everything stopped. No new crimes, no messages, no trace. Years passed. Files were closed one by one. Victims tried to move on. Investigators retired carrying a heavy sense of failure. The world believed the killer had vanished. But the truth was far more disturbing. He hadn't disappeared. He had blended in, an ordinary man, greeting his neighbors, buying groceries, living quietly, without raising a single suspicion. In 2016, a young investigator sat in front of old, dusty, forgotten files. He reread the reports, listened to the testimonies again, and asked a simple question that changed everything. What if we don't look for the killer himself, but for his family? A new technology had emerged, one that didn't exist before: DNA analysis through genealogical databases. The work began in silence. Months of searching, thousands of names, until one name stood out. An ordinary name, an elderly man, married, no criminal record, a perfect neighbor. Surveillance began quietly. Plain clothes officers, unremarkable cars. One ordinary day, the man drank his coffee, wiped his mouth with a paper napkin, and threw it into the trash before walking away. That napkin carried a secret buried for more than 40 years. The lab didn't need long. The result was undeniable: a full match. In 2018, he was arrested calmly. No chase, no resistance, no drama. Neighbors stood in shock. Some said, "This is impossible. He's such a nice man." But the evidence didn't lie. In the courtroom, victims finally faced their past. Tears, long silences, eyes carrying decades of trapped fear. After years of escape, the game was over. The killer spoke only one sentence: "If science hadn't advanced, you would never have caught me." But justice, even when delayed, never forgets, because some crimes never die. They only wait for the right moment to speak.